guys, what's going on? I'm finally going to be able to detail this engine bay. When I bought the car, it was actually almost just as dirty. The guy's theory was if it was too clean, people would get kind of sketched out, which I kind of understand. Except that I'm like OCD, so it's going to be clean regardless. I'm just going to do a basic detail. I've never touched this engine bay yet. As many of you know, I bought this car in Arizona, drove it 2,000 miles through rain, and I've been driving it for actually a long time now. Several thousand miles after I purchased it, which it was already dirty. So there's, you know, water spots and dirt and normal wear and tear kind of on the edges. It looks like muddy, not muddy water, but very, very dirty water that's starting to accumulate around the cracks and stuff, which is where you start to get rust eventually and stuff like that. So also another reason why you want to keep it clean. But I'm going to do my first engine bay detail on the M3. What's interesting is this, I thought you'd be able to wipe off, but it sort of seems to be fairly porous, so I'm going to see how that goes. And I just have my basic materials. A lot of them are what I use to detail my wheels. So I have an all-purpose cleaner and a rubber cleaner and a tire cleaner as well. They're all like really similar. You don't really need an engine bay detailer per se. They're all going to work kind of the same way, as long as you don't get something super aggressive and get it in an intake or something like that. Then of course that's bad news. But I'm gonna get started here. I usually just rinse it down really quick. I'm just really quick about just brushing the water through. Just, you know, I don't want to mess with anything. It's usually fine. I'm gonna do that and then agitate it with my brushes and show you guys the process here. Alright guys, so my advice is to do the hood first. That way anything that is dirty and falls down goes into the engine bay second. And I just use that one brush, the square one, and then I use kind of a crappy microfiber towel to dry it, which sort of picks up any dirt or whatever that I missed with the brush. So it sort of finishes cleaning it as well as dries it up nice. And there's a helicopter coming, so that's really cool. Okay, so last step here is I dried down the engine bay itself after I did that, and definitely try to work in a cool space. Have the engine obviously off, and have it, you know, sit for at least a little bit if you can. That way the water and chemicals don't start to leave water spots and all that good stuff. So if you can, try to work in a cool space. And then of course I'm kind of in the sun here, so that makes me have to work a little bit faster than I'd like, but you know, sometimes you can't help that. And then this is just this is CarPro Pearl, which is just really a water-based dressing. And for the engine bay, I actually like to just put it on a dry microfiber towel, and you're able to dilute this really well. But I just sort of apply it, and then there's some areas that are wet on the engine bay still, which is fine because I can't dry it fully, which sort of like dilutes it in a way, which makes it'll give it like a perfect shine. So let's dress this thing up, get the plastics looking good, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, I just need to take a second to ask everyone a question. Does this being on that way bother anyone else, or am I the only one that doesn't understand why you can't just screw it on and have it that way? Why is that so hard? I'm like, every car that I get the oil changed, they have to freaking put it backwards. Alright guys, and that's how it's done. That's how I dialed in my engine bay on my M3. Pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy on any car. Just don't be dumb about it, I guess, is kind of the moral of the story here. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to do a full wash. By the way, if you do decide to do the engine bay and then a wash, do this first. It's the dirtiest part of the car, just like normally you do the wheels first. It just makes it easier for when you're actually washing the car. Do the dirtiest part first if you can. So once again, thanks so much for watching. I do want to ask you guys a question. I've done a couple of, a bunch of wash videos on each of my cars, and I did the full first maintenance wash on this, and I'm about to do one today. I'm not going to film it just because I just did the exhaust video and then this video, so it starts to eat up a lot of the day if I start recording that much. But if you want to see more frequent washes, to me that sounds kind of boring. I don't think I do a good job of rambling on or being too informative unless I have a very specific thing in mind. So I do want to ask, is that something that you would like to see, is more frequent wash videos? I mean, everything else is going to stay as consistent as I can. If I have a specialty thing I'm doing, I'm definitely going to show that. But for example, today I'm not going to film a wash video. Not sure if anyone would prefer me to do that in addition, which I'm willing to do if people are going to watch, but I just don't think that like the interest is there unless I'm doing something special. So let me know if you want to see kind of something that I've done already. Essentially is really what I'm trying to get at, is do you want me to film something I've already done? This is probably my second or third video I've done on an engine bay, but it's very specific as opposed to a full wash. It seems more generic. So that's my question for you guys. If you didn't already comment below, definitely try to answer that question if you can. Any input is much appreciated. Any pictures of this thing all dialed in is going to be on my Instagram as usual. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video. Like I said, that makes a huge difference. And subscribe if you like my content and you want to see more. So I'll see you guys next time, and thanks so much for watching.